Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title, we are going to get into a story time of the times that I lost both of my parents. Both of my parents were murdered by the time I turned 21. And I just want to share this story because I've been holding in for so long of how I felt, how it impacted my life, how are my feelings towards God, all of these questions that a lot of people will ask. So I just want to get into that. But first, I want to show you guys this wig from Hertune. I got it off of Amazon and sis, it was only $60. This is the lace straight out of the pack. It did come with a wig cap. They also gave your girl a strap, headband, so that way I can lay my lace. And also too, they gave me these little bitty itty bitty lashes that to be honest, you can use them for bottom lashes. The wig did shed just a tiny bit, but that did not bother me because this is a temporary wig. This is something I need to go just put on for the grocery store. And yeah, so this is everything that came with the package. No, this video is not sponsored, but if y'all see this video, you might want to sponsor your girl. So let's just go ahead and get into this story time. Whew. All right, so we're just gonna get right into it. So I'm gonna give you a little background story of how it happened, and then we'll get into how I felt and all of that. So boom. Back in 2015, it was November 15th to be exact, and I had just clocked into work, y'all. I was working at Subway at the time, and it was just a typical day. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad. I had literally got to work, and as you know, if you're working fast food or just any type of business that needs you to be on the front end, you can't be on your phone for real, for real. So I feel my phone vibrating in my pocket, like going off like nonstop. And I'm like, who the fuck keep calling me like back to back? They know I'm at work. Anybody who at the time knew that I was at work, and I don't really like checking my phone for real while I'm at work. So my phone keep going off. I'm like, all right, let me go to the back and see what's up. So I got like 5-6 missed calls from my mama. My baby daddy at the time, husband, called me one time, and I'm like, what the fuck? So my mama texts me. She like, yeah, call me when you get a chance. I'm like, okay, what the fuck she want? Cause she at home with my kids, and I'm just thinking like, what the fuck does she want? She know I'm at work. So I call her, and she like, first thing that came out her mouth, she like, you talk to your, what the fuck she say? She said, you talk to your daddy? I'm like, yeah, like a week ago, when, it was brief or whatever like that. He wanted to see me, but, I was working. So then she say, you talk to your brother? Then I'm like, what the, in the back of my mind, I'm like, why the fuck is you asking me all these questions? I'm like, no, I ain't talked to him or whatever. I'm like, I ain't talked to him in a minute. She paused for a minute. And she got quiet. I'm like, so, what's wrong? What? She like, your daddy died. He passed away. I'm like, what the fuck you just said? Like, what? I'm like, I don't cuss with my mama and like that. Like, we had our differences and stuff like that, but I ain't never got to the, like, I was not no cuss. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? She said, yeah, Hope, your brother just came over here, and he said that Hope, all he could say is Hope did it. And she's like, what the fuck? She said, Hope killed your daddy. Dog, when I tell y'all, bitch, I fucking broke down in the middle of the fucking Subway, bitch. Customers, I'm talking about, this bitch is slapping. Customers all out the door. I bust out crying. I damn near threw my fucking phone, y'all. Like, bruh. In this moment, like, I'm pissed, I'm hurt, I'm upset. And just to give a little background about me and my dad's relationship, like, it wasn't like, he was not in my life, like, actively, but when we got together and we linked up, it was always a good time. He always made me feel special. He always made me feel welcome. And to, like, literally, I had literally got a text message from him a week prior asking, he was asking to, like, spend time with me. And he like, okay, you older now, you grown now. Like, I had just turned 18 at the time. This was a month after my birthday. And he like, when we gonna spend time, you grown now. It's no boundaries or nothing that's set, holding you back from trying to spend time with me, like, what's good? And I'm telling him, I'm like, I'm working and this is that and third. And like, when she called me and told me that this nigga died, when I tell you, I felt like a part of my heart, like, died. Like, it cracked. Like, if you have lost a parent before, you know that feeling. Like, it's just unexplainable. Like, y'all, if you know, you know. Anyways, I tried to stay my entire shift, y'all, and I could not. Like, the tears was rolling down, like the fucking tears was going in people's sandwiches, bitch. I'm like, oh no, I gotta go. I cannot do this. I can't even function. I can't think right. My fucking head feel like it's about to explode. And the first two people that came to my mind was, I'm like, bro, I need to go to my grandma's house, my daddy's mama, because I'm like, I know, because they relationship, like, it was crazy as hell. But one thing about it, my grandma, she did not play about my fucking daddy, and that was the first person on my mind. Like, I gotta get to my grandma's house. I got to go. And then my brother, because bitch, even though me and my dad wasn't as close as I wish we would have, him and my brother, they was close. They got into it heavy, but they were close. They were closer than, me and my dad. So I'm like, I gotta get to them. I know that my brother is gonna wind up popping up at my grandma's house, so I need to get to my fucking grandma's house. I left work. I told my manager whatever, and that's, girl, we gonna get into that shit another time, bitch, how they did me at my daddy's viewing. Anyways, yeah, so I got to my grandma's house, boom. So come to find out, my dad's cousin killed him over some bullshit. So yeah, I went on a little whole spree, lashed out of anger. And this is why just nowadays I just do not judge people on how they grieve, because people grieve in so many different ways, and I was tripping like real bad. So went to the funeral, all that, started the grieving process for that. All right, so fast forward 4 years later, y'all, I was not ready for this. It's so crazy, because it's so crazy how life will just slap your ass upside the fucking forehead. Like, you would think everything all good and peaches and cream, and then, bitch, right upside your head. So 4 years later, after I lost my dad, I kind of got to, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of okay. I'm coming to a sense, like, okay, accepting of the grieving process, bitch. So once again, fast forward, I'm working at another Subway. I don't know what it is about Subway, but I bet you I won't be working at another one no more. But anyways, I'm working at Subway. I did a late night shift. I was closing, and I don't know, it was just weird as fuck. Like, I felt like it was just weird as hell. So I closed up. I went home, went to sleep. I didn't get home until like 12 o'clock at night, y'all. So the next morning, my grandma, she, texting me, asking me stupid ass questions. I'm like, well, at the time I thought it was stupid ass questions. She like, yeah, you talk to your mama and stuff like that. Mind you, okay, so just a little bit of backstory of my mom. She had bipolar schizophrenia. So if you have a family member that has bipolar schizophrenia, bitch, you know when to give them their space, and you know when it's time to come around and do that. So it was one of those situations where my mom, like, we were close, but we were not close. And it, because of that bipolar schizophrenia shit, like, it was so hard. Like, you just, if you know, you know. If you have a family member, you know how it is. So anyways, my grandma, hit me up. She like, you talk to your mom? I'm like, I ain't talk to her. I'm just brushing her. Like, oh, she probably just in her mood. She good. I ain't think twice about it. So my grandma, she like, okay, or whatever like that. So I guess in the midst of it, she wound up calling her phone, and she didn't answer. And I guess as a parent, I have never lost a child before, but I guess as a parent, if some bullshit like that happened to your child, you just know. And I guess she just felt the feeling, like she felt like she was gone or whatever like that. So she, calling my sister. She like, you talk to her, and everybody pretty much got the same story, because like I said, my mama had bipolar schizophrenia. We know when to back the fuck up, and we know when to be around. So, okay, so boom. My grandma, she wound up calling the maintenance people, the complex that my mama lived in, that she called them to go do a wellness check. Y'all, when I tell you, So at this point, my grandma, she called the maintenance people. They're on their way over there. They won't tell her nothing. My sister wound up meeting up with her over at my grandma's house to ride with her over to my mama's complex. And she like, my sister on the phone, she like, yeah, we just gonna ride by and see whatever like that. She called them. They not really saying nothing over the phone, nothing like that. So immediately when they said that, when my sister, she on the, like, I can hear the shakiness in her voice, like she not sure, but she don't want to, like, think nothing bad or nothing like that. Man, when I tell you, because my grandma and my mama house was literally like 10 minutes, and I know my grandma was flying that motherfucker to figure out what's going on, because wasn't nobody saying anything. Girl, when my phone rang again, because me and my sister hung up at that point, when she called me back, I just knew at that point. I had already knew. When she called me back and I answered the phone and I heard my sister scream in the phone, she dead, she dead. Dog, when I tell you, it's one thing losing a parent one time to homicide, murder, like that shit just your brain just do not process that in the moment. But to get that call for the second time, I'm like, you know what? Immediate. When I tell you immediate, before I could even process anything, because I knew my mama, she had did some bullshit. She was a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. The first thing that I did was pray for her, and I prayed for her soul, and I asked God to forgive her. I'm not even gonna cap that. The first thing I did, and then immediately after, I'm like, dog, having a family member, bro, that has fucking bipolar schizophrenia, you just think, bro, the worst shit ever. And my worst fucking fear was my mama, like, literally lashing out on somebody and somebody doing something to her. And the moment that my fucking sister called me back, dog, and was yelling in the phone telling my mama was dead and somebody fucking killed her, like, it, dog, when I tell you, nothing, I still can't even wrap my head around the shit. Like, to this day, it's just so fucked up. And it's so shit like that, when stuff like that happens to you, it's so life-changing, and it's so easy for you to blame God and really just, like, question a lot of shit. Like, what the fuck am I put here just to get slapped around by a fucking life? Because that's what I really felt like. Like, I lost my dad and then turn around to lose my mom. I'm like, I really felt like an orphan. Like, y'all motherfuckers just really just dropped me off and left me on the side of the road. And I know that's not funny, but bro, like, losing both of your parents, like, that close, it just, period. Like, I don't care if they was old and they died of old age. Like, losing your parent, I don't give a fuck how old they is, it's never going, like, that shit just hit different. How it initially made me feel was like, bro, when I tell you, at the second time I lost a parent, bitch, when I tell you, I did not go outside. I didn't want to be around nobody. I didn't want to communicate with nobody. Still to this day, a little bit, like, I don't answer my phone for real, because I be so fearful that somebody is going to call me and tell me some bad news or some bullshit that I just ain't ready for. And to be honest, I just don't know how much I can take. Like, that's a lot. Like, losing, like, it's one thing to lose a parent, but to lose a parent because somebody else took them away, it's like, what in the world? And bro, how it impacted my life, like, I know that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, but, like, let's just keep it 100, like, really quickly. Like, how it impacts my life, like, it's like, I'm so happy for everybody, but it's like looking at my kids, because I do have children, looking at them, they're asking about their grandkids. I have children now that I've had since both of my parents have passed, and they don't even know that they, can have that type of grandmother, grandfather type of bond. Like, my oldest daughter and my mama was, like, close, and, like, to have to break the news to my daughter and just to see her, like, when I tell you, my daughter literally gasped for air because she could not breathe. She could not believe it. Like, and that shit hurt. Like, it was just wounds after wounds after wounds, just opening up. And like, still to this day, like, with my kids going to school and like them having grandparents day, or them on social media seeing other people with their grandparents and stuff like that, or just like, I just can't help but wonder, like, why, like, what if they were still here? Like, how would that have been? How would life have been? And just, man. But just a lot, I know a lot of questions that people have is just like, how did I feel about, God and stuff like that? Because it's like, damn, you took both of my parents away. Like, that's crazy. That's easy for someone, like, it's so easy to blame God, especially when situations like that happen, when God, a loved one takes away and things like that. And it wasn't honestly until my mom passed away that I had a different realization, because when my dad passed away, y'all, I ran from God. I'm not even gonna hold you, because I'm like, damn, that's messed up. Like, I didn't have a dad growing up, like, for like active in my life, and now I really can't have a dad now. So it really just like, it really hurt my feelings real bad. But then when my mom passed away, it really pushed me into a deeper relationship with God, to get closer to God. I knew that I could not depend on no high or no, drinking to give me comfort, because I did that with when my dad passed away, and it just left me in more and more of a bigger hole, to be completely honest. I was just numbing my feelings, numbing how I really felt. And one thing about God is, even when you feel some type of way, even when you mad and upset, he still is there for you. He still wants you to come to him and tell him how you feel, even if you are upset. And it's crazy, because like I said, when my mom passed away, it pushed me to go to God, like, more. Like, God, I need you. Ain't no way I'm finna go through this life by myself. It's just impossible at this point, because, and I be looking at it, I know people look at me too, and it's like, how do you keep going? How do you keep pushing? And it ain't nothing but God. And I know that's so cliche to say to a lot of people, but baby, when I tell you, the Lord gives me strength to get through, because I do still have my days where I'm just like, bruh, what, like, did that shit really happen to me? I'm really out here a orphan for real, like. But then like I said, I just lean on God and lean on his strength. For me, losing both of my parents was a huge fucking wake up call. It was a, life is not playing. These people ain't playing, especially with my mom. Like I said, she dealt with bipolar schizophrenia. So when she passed away, and just how everything came about with her death, it really pushed me into my self-healing, and just really just getting my mindset together and getting my actions together, because believe it or not, that stuff impacts not only you but the people around you. And baby, we can't be out here fucked up, like, we can't. And it really just opened my eyes up to life, and really just let me know, like, baby, it felt like a door closed in my face, like a metal door just like shut in my face. There's no going back. I can't go back to mama, daddy, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it really pushed me, I'm not gonna lie, like, it really pushed me to like get on my shit, and really like push my business, push myself each and every day, because I know that I have little people looking up to me and depending on me. And I'll be damned if, some shit happen and my kids are not left with anything, or they are just out here and I don't know who they gonna, like, it's just, me losing my parents was like a huge wake up for me to get up, get on my shit, and really do it. Y'all, when I tell y'all it took me so long to do this video, not the install, but I'm talking about just coming out with this story, because I ran from it so long. One, because it hurted. I did not want to relive the story, and I noticed that me not telling my story is hindering someone else from knowing that someone else went through it and got through it. And then two, like, this was literally one of my weakest moments of my life, and just to get vulnerable, like, I'm such a strong person. I've always been taught to be a strong person, and just, never let nobody see you down or breaking down and nothing like that. But I'm just so grateful that I was able to get vulnerable with you guys, because y'all, the grieving process, it looks so different for everybody. Everyone does not grieve the same. One day you might be happy, the next minute you might be sad, but don't hold that shit in. It only makes it worse. But anyways, this is the final look. I hope you guys stay to the end. I want to thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.